In the UK, a child comes into care in need of a foster family every 20 minutes.
65,000 children live with almost 55,000 foster carers across the UK.
Many children experience abuse and neglect prior to coming into care. Fostering is often their first positive experience of family life.
We always wanted to foster. We're in a position to foster, and we just wanted to help and make someone's life so much better.
When our son was in hospital, right, we realised that people needed respite carers. So some friends of ours who were foster carers, we started doing respite care for their kids.
And it just escalated from there, really. What we initially set out to do was to care for children with disabilities. The disabilities are so profound, like they have tracheotomy or something like that, that the only respite option that we had was to be in hospital. And that's the gap that we identified there. And we did go down that track of fostering disabled children to begin
Special
with.
needs, special needs children, yeah.
But then that's just obviously snowballed where siblings that were mainstream fostering came along in different variations. So that's sort of our beginning, how we started.
Oh, I just wanted to change a career, but I still wanted to work with kids, but to make a difference to a kid, to be able to give them a different view.
I became a foster carer because it has always been a dream of mine, having friends who foster, and I've always imagined helping children and families. There's so many children in the country that need a loving home and a happy family, and they need to be kept safe and looked after.
To help children find families that actually need new families or need a family in general.
I think if you can make give somebody a different aspect, a different viewpoint on life, you should.
Because there's children that are neglected and abused that need a home.
Because it gives you a loving home, a joyful family, and it's just grateful.
To give children a boost in life and to make them believe that they deserve a family to live with.
Because more people should foster, because children are going into children's homes and they wish they had a family.
I don't think when we set out that we intended it to be a career, it's more of a vocation. And I think that that's a mistake that people think. They think it's a job, but it's not. It's a way of life, and it's a total new way of life.
I think it's important because, what about if kids are in danger or they're being left behind or something and their family's not getting along?
To show that there should be love for children, to help children who need help.
The joy, I don't know, they just make us so happy and satisfied and so glad that we did it. We're just us, and we're just like a family, and it's just so easy to do and natural.
If I hadn't been with foster carers, it would be the opportunities that I've had from school, support that I've had from school, where my carers have supported me in school and helped me to get where I am now.
Variety. I mean, we've not had even two kids the same age. There's highs and lows, isn't there? But yeah, there's always the high.
Them helping other children, because it's a really nice thing to do.
Because it's fun, it's joyful, and it's just happy, and it's the best foster care I've been already.
I think the fact that I'm part of the family and it's just a normal family
Meeting new people and having somebody to play with.
Having all the different children and learning new things, opportunities, to be able to learn new opportunities and things like that.
They're nice to me and do things together. It is the best foster home I've been to so far.
Seeing children succeed, not necessarily in a big massive way like, you know, achieving a degree or A-level GCSEs, just little steps sometimes, just children trusting you enough to do something new and to gain the confidence and skills to do something independently. Just say a little line in a school play or something like that would bring me to tears as much as watching someone graduate at university.
I think starting to cope with life really and being happy. We've had kiddies come to us who have not been able to walk, and then after a few weeks they start to walk, can't they? That's because they've been confined.
Yeah, you have the security, along with security and stability comes confidence eventually, and that's how they move forward, isn't it?
There's nothing better than one of these kiddies coming up to you, trust you so much, come up and give you a big hug and a cuddle. And that is, you can't beat it.
My favourite part of fostering is like spending time with like other children, going out for days out with them and just spending time with them.
When they have little babies and the babies are sick.
That first week, because you're strangers, you're sort of tiptoeing around without wanting to tiptoe around.
Letting go, moving children on.
I think when you move them on, you're looking at, it's like a bereavement.
It is.
And you do.
You grieve.
You grieve. You grieve.
Regardless of how you flower it up, you grieve, and I think that's only natural. We form an attachment with those children and they with us. Even when it's a very positive, moving children onto a positive placement, you know, moving children onto independence, children, you know, leaving to go on to university and things, it's still difficult. It's still an emotional time, and I think the emotional side of it, to me personally, is what I find most challenging.
I think initially when you start fostering, it's nothing prepares you for this stranger coming to your home. And you think you're going to do this, you've got this ideal of fostering, and it doesn't work out like that.
Yeah.
And as time goes on, more training, and with hindsight, we can look back and say we could have done better on some cases.
Initially, I think one of the first challenges was rejection, children rejecting you.
Yeah.
You know, you think if you can just show love and to children that, you know, it'll be returned, and you're quite often rejected for quite a long time. But we've got used to that now, and we don't take it personally, and it's just part and parcel of being a foster carer.
The most challenging part is like when they don't understand and you have to like keep teaching them the things that they can't do because they don't get it like that. It's not like one day thing, you have to keep learning.
The challenging parts of fostering are the waiting in between for placements. That can be really hard, and not knowing when you're going to get a new child, and also sometimes it's frustrating working with other professionals when you're advocating and just want the best for the child, and sometimes that can be really difficult too.
Yes, when we all have fun and at the table, and when we don't have the TV on, we all yam us and we all do that.
We go on days out, like to the farm, to a theme park. We go on quite a few holidays a year.
So in summer, in lockdown 1, me and Ruby used to make like a tent with like the chairs and put blankets over, and that was fun, and now we have like a proper tent, so we can just put it up and it's got like lights around it and curtains.
One of my particular memories that really sticks in my mind, we'd got a young boy, he was 9, really challenging. We'd had him about 19 months and we'd worked with him endlessly, and he'd come on in leaps and bounds, but he'd gone on respite to another family, and he had gone just to have a little bit of a break and vice versa. And he rang me to say, I've gone to my room to calm down. He says, because so-and-so's had a go at me. And I said, oh, I'm really proud of you. I said, for doing that. I said, really well done. And he said, did you listen to me? I said, I'm on roof. Well, at that, it was a totally different story, because she lived in a 3-storey Victorian house.
Right at the very beginning, we had a young man, 13, 14, was he? Something like that. And he was stopping on respite with us, and he had got issues with the fact that I wouldn't let him go into a girl's room.
Young girl's room.
To a young girl's room. And I ended up sleeping on the landing to stop it happening, if you like, and he didn't like that. And the next day I found out he'd cut all the wires off the TVs and off the DVD players and videos and all sorts.
In every bedroom. Yeah.
Every bedroom he'd been through and cut all the cabling off. And as I say, right at the beginning, I said, I am going to blow my top in a minute. I says, get out, into the garden, you'll calm down, and then I'll calm down in here. I went into the garden to get him after we'd sorted it out, and he then trashed the trampoline, knocked the brick wall down and damaged the garage door. But hey.
So lesson learned, you never send a child out when they're angry.
But after that, he then we became best mates, didn't we, really?
Yeah.
And
turning point.
he started turning up and on, mending punctures on his bike and all sorts, wasn't he? He was really good lad, wasn't he?
We play games and laugh with each other.
Well, I went to Turkey with my sisters.
Our second placement, which was a baby and him arriving, and the excitement of, oh my goodness me, and everything we had to learn, and then having him for a lot longer than what was first said, and then having the opportunity to move him on to his adoptive family was a really special time for our family, and knowing that he is very happy and settled with his new family.
Well, we've lived here for 12 years and we've never had a small family. It's always been really big, so it's never really boring.
We all eat together, don't we? Every tea time we all eat as a family, the 4 of us. We have our cups and we all yamas, cheers to each other, we all touch cups, whatever, and then do a Fab 4 thing with our hands. That's Kieran.
Fab 4!
No. I think lots of different people, lots of different personalities. We all foster in different ways, as we parent in different ways. And I think you develop your own style. I think you've got to have the commitment. If you haven't got the commitment, there's just no point even starting out. It is a lifestyle change, a massive lifestyle change, but I don't think anyone can foster.
You've got to be quite positive, really, because you've got to take the downs, haven't you, as well as the ups. Things will go wrong. You will make mistakes. But you know, at the end of the day,
just learn from your mistakes.
Just learn from it and move on.
One of the most important things is, I think, a good support network, and particularly other carers do become your support network eventually, and you can talk to each other, support each other. I think that's an important thing.
Yeah, I think it does. I think they need patience with working certain kids.
I think anybody could. You've got to be tolerant.
Yeah.
Flexible.
Well, you need to love children, you need to be patient, and I think that's it.
That you have to have an awful lot of patience to be a foster carer. I think that you have to not think of it as a job and rely on it for money, because that isn't what it is. As long as you have love and care, then anybody can be a foster carer, yes.
I think you've got to be committed, got to have a lot of time free for the children, got to be loving and accepting.
I've been with the agency for over 6 years now, and I've been working in fostering for over 12 altogether. And I still really enjoy the job that I do. It's great to meet new people who want to become foster carers and see them go on to develop the skills and offer children really good foster placements in their homes and offer opportunities to children that they wouldn't otherwise have with our support there to help them through. And it's a great team to work for with the staff that I work with, as well as the foster carers. I feel like we've got a real team approach and that we work really hard together with the same goal in mind, to give the foster carers the support they need to then give the children the care that they require as well.
Growing up, my parents were foster carers, and watching children come in and out of your home and knowing what they've been through, and all they wanted is love, care, nurturing and just their basic needs. And I knew growing up that I needed to do something to help other children. So I always knew that I'd go into a job where I could help children, I could support them, and now I get the opportunity to do that, and it's the best job in the world.
When I was 16, I found myself in the homeless people's unit, feeling very alone and scared, frightened, all the emotions that a vulnerable child and young person goes through. I never had any support or anybody looking out for me. So I definitely do not want that for any child and young person that I'm supporting. I want to be there for them. I want them to know we care, I care.
Fostering has changed my life. It has been amazing and I love it, and I hope to do it for many, many years to come.
One of the things that I think we set out with an ideal that we wanted to foster children with disabilities, and primarily under the age of 10. Over the last 14 years, we've had from newborn through to 23 years of age. We've had mother and baby, we've had children with disabilities, we've had siblings, we've had older children, teenagers. We have had lots of different categories of fostering, and each and every one's different and has its different challenges and its different rewards. But don't be afraid to try something a little bit outside of the box. We've looked after asylum seeking children, we've looked after Muslim children, Catholic children, you name it really. We've sort of cared for a wide spectrum of children, and it's important to...
You'd be surprised how much you yourself will learn. Because it's so frustrating and it can be so challenging. But I tell you what, it's the best job in the world. It really is. You can't do better. When you've improved somebody's life, they come back to you years later and thank you. You know you've done a good job.
Yeah, some of our children are now parents themselves, aren't they?
Yeah.
And life going forward for them has been a little bit easier because they were in a foster placement with us as a family, and they've acquired a family in addition to their own.
Just do it. That's it, just do it.
Listen, talk to other foster carers, and the best thing is the support that other foster carers can give you, as well as, you know, agency. Other foster carers, they're just there for you, and listen to them, make friends with them.
I mean, you definitely need space, and make sure you've got a lot of space to have a child aging up there, because children need a lot of space at work.
Just do it because it's making children's life happier, and it's making people happier, and it's going to make people have a nice loving home.
Take your time when you're choosing your first placement.
Don't be afraid to say no.
Now, there is no rush.
Yeah.
And if the first 10 referrals that come through, you don't feel it's right, follow your gut gut feeling goes a long way in fostering. Don't be afraid to ask questions. You must ask questions.
Just try and put yourself in that child's place at their age. Just think about it. How would you cope with going into a stranger's house? Everything different. Food, clothing, what Chad tell you, everything is different. Just try and make it a little bit easier for them. Talk to them. That's a big thing. If you talk to them, you'll be surprised how they open up.
It can be challenging sometimes, but it is fun and doing it and you get used to it.
If a child's coming to live with you, make sure you take the time to learn about them and their life before they come to you.
Remember your self-care. It can be an emotional roller coaster. As rewarding as it is, it can be very, very hard and upsetting at times. So it is so important to look after yourself too.
It's very scary moving to a new placement, so be patient with the child.
Just do it because children need a family.